Love lives here.
A young monk and an elder master walking through a bustling marketplace. A merchant, frustrated with his sales, shouted insults at them as they passed. The young monk clenched his fist, ready to respond, but the elder master simply bowed with his hands in the Anjali Mudra and said, Namaste. Confused, the young monk asked, why honor someone who was so rude? The master replied, I don't honor the insult. I honor the divine within him. He may have forgotten his true nature, but I have not. The young monk realized that namaste is not just for peaceful moments, but is a practice for all moments, especially the difficult ones. So my talk title today is Seeing the Divine in Everyone. In the science of mind, we recognize that every soul is an expression of the one infinite spirit. And when we truly see others, not just their actions or appearances, but their divine essence, we open the door to love, to compassion, and to unity. But it can be difficult, right? It can be difficult to see the divine in people, especially when there may be forces that seek to diminish this truth, casting some as lesser or as other. But we must not internalize that narrative. We won't have it. We're going to stand up, right? So, there are some times in our lives when we face family, and they may have a different idea than we do, right? But they are family, and we love them, right? So we can't blast them where they sit. We may not ask them to leave the dinner table. I know some of you have gone to your Thanksgiving dinners with your families, and you're like, oh no, Uncle Joe's going to be there. Or Aunt Susie's so opinionated and she's going to be there. But that's what we have to, hey, that's what makes the world go round. So in family gatherings and social settings, even on social media, have you gone on your social media sites and you think one way and you find out that that friend thinks a whole nother way and you block them like I do? I don't want to see their comments anymore. Yeah. So instead, we must stand firm in our faith, knowing that we, as well as every soul, is a unique and sacred reflection of the infinite. And now more than ever, staying centered and grounded in this truth of our being is essential, and we must fully embrace and accept ourselves, recognizing that we are each divine expressions of the one power and the one presence. And if we are to see the divine in everyone, we must recognize the spiritual truth of oneness. We must overcome biases through what? Our spiritual principles and practices. And we must practice namaste, honoring the divine in others. And so we know the origins of namaste. It comes from the Hindu tradition, and it's a greeting, means I bow to you, and it conveys deep respect. The essence of namaste recognizes the divine within each person, the idea that we are all reflections of the same universal energy. And the gesture brings your palm together at your heart in the mudra, and saying namaste is symbolizing, acknowledging our shared sacredness. So I'm going to ask everyone to stand up and turn to the person next to you, honoring the divine in that person by bowing and saying namaste. Corey, are you changing the rules here? Thank you. All right. And so what I found in my research that many cultures and spiritual traditions embrace the idea of seeing divine in each person. And here are some examples. We already said in the Hindu tradition is namaste. That means the divine in me bows to the divine in you. It's a recognition of the sacredness of all beings. And in the African philosophies is Ubuntu, and that means I am because we are. And it's a belief in the interconnectedness and sacred humanity. In Buddhism, Tatvem Asi is thou art that, a phrase from the Upanishads recognizing the oneness of self and the divine. In Christianity is Imago Dei, and that means image of God, the belief that all humans are created in the image of God and should be treated as such. In Islam, there's a word that I can't pronounce, but the end of it is Allah, and it means creation is the family of God. And it's a reminder that all people are part of God's creation and should be treated with love and respect. Judaism is the image of God, a concept from the Torah that all humans reflect the divine. The Native American Lakota tradition, there is a word, and it means all my relations, or we are all related. And it's a recognition of the sacred connection between all living beings. And in Hawaiian spirituality, it is aloha. And that means more than just hello and goodbye. Aloha embodies love, peace, and seeing the divine in others. And in Chinese Taoism, the word means heaven and humanity are one, and belief that all beings are interconnected with the divine flow of the universe. And in Sikhism, there's a word, and it means God is one. These teachings of oneness of all creation and God exist in everyone. And so across all these traditions, there is a sacred understanding and a shared understanding that divinity is not separate from us. It is within and reflected in all beings, right? So seeing the divine in others is to embrace the divine. In order to do that, to embrace the divine in others, we may first acknowledge it in ourselves, right? I want to hear you say, I am one with the divine. And when we see through the eyes of spirit, judgment fades and understanding deepens. The light we recognize in another is the same light that shines within who? Make it personal. Within who? All right. So today, practice looking beyond differences and into the heart of oneness. See spirit in every face and watch how the world can transform before you. I don't know if you ever had that experience. I can remember when we were wearing masks when COVID was at its height. And people would walk in the store and they would not look at you. They would not look you in the face, in the eye. And then if they saw you down the aisle, they would not come down the aisle. They'd wait. But I always look people right in the eye. I've never been afraid to do that. I was taught that as a child. If you can, it's a trust thing. It's a trust thing. It's a respect thing. And so I started looking people in the eye, smiling with my eyes. Spies. So we need to move forward in strength and love and unwavering conviction, affirming our shared divinity and inherent worth. We are worthy. We are inherent. We inherit this beautiful thing we call earth. It's our divine right, right? Divine right. So Teilhard de Chardin says, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? Spiritual beings having this human experience that allows us to the opportunity to learn each and every day. So Ubuntu teaches us that our wholeness is tied to one another's. I am because we are. Namaste invites us to recognize that spirit is alive in each soul, regardless of their outer circumstances. And as you share this message, as I share it with you during Black History Month, you might also connect to the resilience and dignity of those who have fought for justice, seeing and affirming their divine worth, even when the world tried to obscure it. So, throughout history, many African Americans have embodied resilience, dignity, and an unwavering commitment to justice, affirming their divine worth. Sojourner Truth, born into slavery but became a powerful abolitionist and women's right advocate. She's famous for the speech, Ain't I a Woman?, affirming the worth and equality of Black women. Frederick Douglass escaped slavery and became a leading voice for abolition, justice, and equality. His speech and writings asserted the dignity and intelligence of Black people. Ida B. Wells, she's a journalist and activist who's fearlessly exposed the horrors of lynching. She's a co-founder of the NAACP and a lifelong fighter of civil rights. W.E.B. Du Bois, a scholar and activist who championed the idea of the talented 10th. He saw education and self-determination as a tool for empowerment for Black people. Mary McLeod Bethune, educator and civil rights leader who became the founder, who founded Bethune-Cookman College, believed deeply in the power of education to affirm Black excellence. James Baldwin, writer, activist. Fannie Lou Hamer, civil rights activist. Martin Luther King Jr. led the civil rights movement and proclaimed darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Malcolm X, fierce advocate for Black empowerment and self-determination. Maya Angelou, poet and activist who used words to uplift and affirm Black dignity. Her poem, Still I Rise, is a testament of resilience. John Lewis, congressman and civil rights leader, talked about good trouble. Angela Davis, activist and scholar who fought for Black liberation and prison reform, a lifelong advocate for justice and dignity. These individuals and so many more stood in their divine power, affirming their worth, fighting for justice, and demonstrating resilience in the face of adversity. Their lives are a testament to the truth that the divine shines within us all, no matter how hard the world tries to obscure it. Can you think, can you feel the obstacles that were put in these people's path? And they rose above it. So practicing resilience, dignity, and justice while affirming our divine worth requires a blend of inner strength, spiritual awareness, and courageous action. Right? Courageous action. Spiritual awareness and that inner strength. Because sometimes we don't want to get out of bed in the morning because we know what's waiting out there for us. But that inner strength and our spiritual awareness of who and whose we are and the courage to press on is what those people showed us. So how can each of us embody the principles in our daily life? Well, you can root yourself in what your spiritual truth. Know who you are. Recognize that you are an individualized expression of the divine, and your worth is not determined by external conditions. You can cultivate resilience in the face of adversity by embracing challenges as growth opportunities, that every obstacle is a stepping stone, not a stopping point. Write that down. Now we're cooking with gas. Every obstacle is a stepping stone, but it's not a stopping point. You can find strength in your community. Lean on like-minded souls who uplift and inspire you. Again, Ubuntu teaches us that I am because we are. And tell your story like Maya Angelou. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. So speak your truth, even when the ground shakes. My grandfather always says there is more room out than there's room in. So speak your truth and walk in dignity and self-respect. Set boundaries. Don't shrink for anyone. Know your worth and demand respect. And lead with integrity. Your actions, your words, and your energy should align with the divine truth of your being. And honor others' dignity as well. Treat every person as a sacred reflection of the divine, even when it's difficult. But stand up for justice and equality. When you witness injustice, be the voice of change. Because silence is what? Complicity. Use your gifts. Daryl talked about gifts in his pray-in. Use your gift, whether through art, song, teaching, writing, activism. Contribute in ways that resonate with your soul, because that's going to feed your soul. And practice good trouble. As John Lewis taught, disrupt oppression with love, wisdom, and fearless action. And love radically and unapologetically. See the divine in others. Forgive, but don't forget. Release the poison of hate, but stay aware of the injustice. And build bridges, not walls. True justice includes healing, not just accountability. And live with purpose and vision. Ask yourself, what legacy am I leaving? How am I lifting up others as I rise? Am I leaving them down in the dust? How am I lifting up others as I rise? Mentor and inspire. Daryl talked about mentoring the other day in our meeting. And he was a mentor for a young man in Long Beach area and made a difference in his life. So mentor and inspire. Just as those before us have paved the way, do the same for future generations. And Jesse Jackson always says, keep hope alive. Believe in a world where justice and love prevails, and work toward that individually, daily. Because we are the examples, right? We are the examples. So how we walk in this world, other people see that, and it gives rise to them walking in truth, in truth. So by standing in our divine truth, cultivating resilience and taking action, we embody the same spirit of those who came before us. ensuring that dignity, justice, and divine worth remains unshakable forces in this world. You are the light. You are power. You are here for a reason. Keep going and keep rising. Thank you. We're going to go to our tables now. Nice work, everyone. I just have one final thought. It's called The Mirror in the Village. And it says, there was a small village where an elder, Mama Nia, was known for her wisdom and deep spiritual insight. People from near and far came to seek her guidance, for she had a way of seeing beyond appearances into the true nature of a thing. One day, a young man named Jalen arrived, burdened with resentment. He had been mistreated by others, judged unfairly for his past mistakes, and he carried deep wounds of rejection. Mama Nia, he said, I don't believe people are good. I don't see God in them. They are selfish and cruel. How can you say we are all divine? Mama Nia smiled and led Jalen to a river that ran through the village. She handed him a small polished mirror. Look at your reflection, she instructed. Tell me, what do you see? I see myself, Jalen said. Now, she said, dip the mirror in the water and pull it back out. Jalen did as he was told, and when he looked again, the mirror was covered with dirt and water droplets, obscuring his face. I can't see myself clearly anymore, he said. Mama Nia nodded. This is how you see others, through a clouded mirror of pain, judgment, and past experience. But if you wipe it clean, their true reflection, the divine within them, will shine through. The Spirit of God is always present, even when it appears hidden. She then whispered a single word, Ubuntu. Jalen furrowed his brow. What does that mean? It means I am because we are. It means that your divinity and mine are interconnected. We do not exist separately, but as part of the one life. The moment you recognize the light in another, you strengthen your own. This is why Namaste means the divine in me honors the divine in you. It is not about what a person has done. It is about who they truly are beneath the dust of human experiences. Jalen took a deep breath. He looked around the village with fresh eyes, not at people's mistakes, but at their essence. For the first time, he saw beyond appearances. He saw their struggles, their humanity, and the flicker of light within each soul. From that day forward, he greeted everyone with the silent namaste, honoring the divine within them. And as he did, something miraculous happened. He began to heal. Dr. Ernest Holmes teaches that we are each individualized expressions of the one divine mind. And when we judge others harshly, we are looking at them through the lens of separation rather than oneness. To truly see the divine in everyone, we must cleanse our own perception, just like Jalen wiping the mirror. And so it is. All right.